Welcome to my channel, HD Rare Coins 111. In this video I tell you about the United States of America Jefferson Nickel 5 cent, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please subscribe my channel. Thanks. Top 1. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins, focusing specifically on a coin that could be hiding in your pocket or coin jar, the 1964 Jefferson Nickel. Most people may think of nickels as simple, everyday change, but believe it or not, certain Jefferson nickels are worth far more than their face value of 5 cents. Some are so rare and special that they can command an impressive price. So, let's explore what makes the 1964 Jefferson nickel such a potentially valuable collector's item and why it could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. First, let's talk a little about the history of the Jefferson nickel. Introduced in 1938, this coin featured Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his famous Virginia estate, on the reverse. Over the years, the design has remained relatively consistent, but the 1964 issue stands out for several key reasons. The year 1964 marks the end of an era, as it was the last year the nickel was produced with the same metal composition as earlier coins. From 1938 to 1964, Jefferson nickels were made from 75% copper and 25% nickel. Starting in 1965, however, the composition changed to a copper-nickel mix, altering both the weight and overall appearance of the coin. So, why is the 1964 Jefferson nickel in particular of such interest to collectors? While the 1964 coin was produced in large quantities, there are rare variations of the coin that are highly sought after. The most notable of these is the 1964 Jefferson nickel with a doubled die obverse. This era coin occurred when the die that struck the nickel was misaligned, causing certain details on the obverse, like the letters and numbers, to appear doubled or shifted. Now, you may be wondering why a simple error like that can make a coin worth so much more than its face value. Well, it all comes down to rarity. A double die error means that only a limited number of these coins were made, making them incredibly rare. Collectors and investors seek out these types of coins, knowing that their value can rise substantially over time. And with such a small number of these rare 1964 double die Jefferson nickels still in circulation, they have become highly coveted items among numismatists, coin collectors. The rarity and condition of the coin also play a huge role in determining its value. A 1964 Jefferson nickel with a double die error that is in mint condition or has been well preserved can easily fetch a high price at auction or from collectors. The coin's grade, which reflects its condition on a scale from poor to mint, is another important factor. Coins that are well preserved, without scratches, discoloration, or wear, are far more valuable than coins that have been circulated extensively. So, how much can you expect a 1964 Jefferson nickel with a double die error to be worth? Well, depending on the grade and condition, some of these rare coins have been sold for tens of thousands of dollars. In fact, if you happen to come across one of these era coins in near perfect condition, you could potentially sell it for a jaw-dropping $85,000. Yes, you heard that right, $85,000. That's not a typo. In recent years, well-preserved examples of the 1964 Jefferson nickel with the double die error have fetched incredible prices at auction, with some buyers willing to pay tens of thousands for a chance to own such a rare piece of history. Now, before you go rushing to check every 1964 nickel you have, it's important to keep in mind that most 1964 Jefferson nickels are not going to be worth anywhere near that amount. The vast majority of these coins are common and will only be worth their face value of 5 cents, or maybe slightly more if they're in particularly good condition. The ones that are worth a significant amount are extremely rare and are usually identified by collectors or coin dealers who are familiar with the nuances of coin grading and error identification. If you do find a 1964 Jefferson nickel that you suspect could be one of the rare double die errors, it's best to have it professionally appraised by a reputable numismatist or coin dealer. They'll be able to help you determine its authenticity, condition, and potential market value. Even if your coin isn't worth thousands, it could still be a valuable addition to your collection or a fun find to share with fellow coin enthusiasts. In conclusion, the 1964 Jefferson nickel is far more than just another 5-cent coin. If you're lucky enough to come across one with a double die error, you could be holding on to a piece of history that's worth thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. With its rarity, historical significance, and unique errors, the 1964 Jefferson nickel continues to captivate coin collectors and investors alike. So, always be on the lookout when you're checking your change. You never know when a coin like this could turn up in your pocket. potentially making you an unexpected fortune. And there you have it. If you happen to own one of these rare and valuable coins, you could be looking at a staggering $85,000. Top 2. We're taking a deep dive into one of the most intriguing coins from the 1970s, the 1972 Jefferson Nickel. While most people would simply pass this coin off as just another 5-cent piece, there's something about the 1972 Jefferson Nickel that has caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. So, if you're a fan of rare coins or just curious about what could be sitting in your change jar, you're in for a real treat today. Stick around as we explore why the 1972 Jefferson Nickel could be worth far more than its face value. Before we get into the specifics of why the 1972 Jefferson Nickel could be worth so much money, let's quickly look at the history behind the coin itself. The Jefferson Nickel was first introduced in 1938, featuring the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and a representation of his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. This design has largely remained unchanged over the decades, making the Jefferson Nickel one of the most iconic and familiar coins in American currency. Fast forward to 1972, and the coin's production was still consistent with the same basic design. But unlike earlier years, the 1972 Jefferson Nickel is unique because of a particular minting error that's made it so valuable in recent years. While the majority of 1972 nickels are worth just 5 cents, there's a very small subset of them that has become prized by collectors. And these aren't your average coins. Now, what makes these 1972 Jefferson nickels stand out? It's all about the possible presence of a rare variety, or minting flaw. Most notably, the 1972 nickel is famous for what's known as the D/D mint mark error. This occurs when a coin has a mint mark that was struck over a previous one. In the case of the 1972 Jefferson Nickel, the mint mark, the letter D, indicating the coin was struck at the Denver Mint, was over-engraved, resulting in a double D on the coin's surface. The D/D error is a classic example of how slight, yet significant, mistakes during the minting process can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. The minting of a double mint mark may sound like a small mistake, but in the world of coin collecting, it's a huge deal. A coin with a doubled mint mark is rare, and collectors often pay top dollar for these errors due to their scarcity. In fact, this particular error has made the 1972 Jefferson Nickel one of the more sought-after coins from the 1970s. It's important to note that not every 1972 Jefferson Nickel with a mint mark from Denver is a valuable error coin. Most of them were struck correctly, with a single D mint mark. But the few that display the double D are extremely rare and can fetch a significant premium. The condition of the coin, of course, also plays a huge role in its value. Coins that are in mint or near mint condition, free from scratches or discoloration, are worth far more than coins that have been heavily circulated. If you're wondering how you can tell whether your 1972 Jefferson Nickel is one of the rarer D/D mint mark errors, it's actually not that difficult to spot if you know what to look for. The double D will appear as two slightly overlapping mint mark letters on the coin's reverse. The upper D is slightly larger than the lower one, and if you examine the coin carefully under good lighting or magnification, you should be able to see the distinctive flaw. This isn't the typical double die error, where the design itself appears doubled, but rather an issue with the mint mark that is not always obvious to the untrained eye. But the story doesn't end there. Even without the mint mark error, the 1972 Jefferson Nickel is an interesting coin to collectors because of its relatively high mintage compared to other years. While that might sound like a negative when we're talking about rarity, it actually adds to the historical context and interest surrounding the coin. It wasn't a rare coin when it was produced, but its rarity today, due to both the minting errors and the passage of time, has made it a prized item in the world of numismatics. So, how much could a 1972 Jefferson Nickel with a D/D mint mark error actually be worth? While the value can vary based on condition, demand, and the specific characteristics of the coin, some of these error coins have been known to sell for eye-popping prices at auction. The most well-preserved and highly graded examples of the 1972 Jefferson Nickel with the D/D error can reach astonishing prices, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars. To put it into perspective, if you happen to find a 1972 Jefferson Nickel with the D/D mint mark error in excellent condition, it could easily be worth a staggering $74,000. Yes, that's $74,000. That's a lot of money for a 5-cent coin, but when you think about the rarity, the history, and the specific minting mistake, it all starts to make sense. Error coins like this are extremely valuable because of how rare they are, and the collectors who are willing to pay such high prices are often looking to complete their collections with these hard-to-find pieces. So, before you dismiss that handful of change sitting in your drawer or in the bottom of your purse, take a moment to carefully check your 1972 Jefferson Nickels. Who knows, you might just have a rare era coin worth thousands of dollars, sitting right under your nose. In conclusion, the 1972 Jefferson Nickel is a prime example of how a simple coin can become a valuable treasure. Thanks to the rare D/D mint-mark error, some of these coins are worth far more than their 5-cent face value. And if you happen to have one in near-mint condition, you could find yourself holding onto a coin worth an incredible $74,000. So, keep your eyes peeled, and happy hunting! Top 3. We deep dive into one of the lesser-known but highly valuable coins from the United States, the 1985 Jefferson Nickel. While most people may think of nickels as ordinary, 5-cent pieces, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Some 1985 Jefferson Nickels, in fact, have become highly sought after by coin collectors due to rare varieties and unique features. So, if you've ever wondered if that handful of nickels in your drawer could be worth more than just loose change, you're in the right place. Let's start by talking a bit about the 1985 Jefferson Nickel in general. Released as part of the ongoing series that began in 1938, the Jefferson Nickel has been a staple of American currency for decades. Featuring the profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his estate, Monticello, on the reverse, the design has largely remained unchanged. The 1985 Jefferson Nickel, just like other coins in the series, was struck by the U.S. Mint in large numbers and distributed widely. At first glance, you might not think there's anything particularly remarkable about it, but the value of this coin can skyrocket under certain circumstances. One of the primary reasons collectors pay attention to the 1985 Jefferson Nickel is due to a small but important error that occurred in its production. While most of the 1985 nickels are standard and worth just 5 cents, there's a rare variety that has caused a buzz in the numismatic world, the 1985 double die obverse. This coin features a doubled image of Thomas Jefferson's face and other elements on the obverse, making it a highly prized piece for collectors of error coins. So, how does this error happen? In simple terms, a double die occurs when a coin is struck multiple times by the same die. This can happen if the die is misaligned or if the coin was struck twice before the ink was properly removed. As a result, certain details, such as Jefferson's features and the date, can appear as though they've been duplicated or doubled. These double die errors are quite rare, especially in the case of the 1985 Jefferson Nickel, which makes finding one all the more exciting. But it's not just the error itself that can add value to the coin. The condition and grade of the coin are also crucial in determining its worth. For example, coins that are in mint or near mint condition, free from major scratches, discoloration, or wear, will be worth far more than those that have been heavily circulated. A coin's grade is assigned by professional numismatists based on its appearance, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. While most of the 1985 Jefferson Nickels are worth their face value of 5 cents, it's the coins with noticeable double die errors, especially those that are in excellent condition, that draw the attention of serious collectors. The rarity of the 1985 double die obverse makes it a highly coveted item, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for the opportunity to add it to their collections. In terms of value, these era coins can fetch impressive amounts at auction. It's not unusual for the rare 1985 Jefferson Nickel with a double die error to be sold for thousands of dollars. However, the most well-preserved examples can bring in an eye-popping price. In fact, if you happen to find a 1985 Jefferson Nickel with a double die error that is in pristine condition, you could be looking at a coin worth an incredible $58,000. That's $58,000 for a 5-cent piece. It's amazing to think that something as simple as a minting error could cause such a dramatic increase in value. But that's the world of coin collecting. Rarity, condition, and historical significance all play a role in determining a coin's worth, and the 1985 Jefferson Nickel with a double die obverse is a perfect example of how these factors can turn a common coin into a highly valuable treasure. If you think you might have a 1985 Jefferson Nickel with this rare double die error, don't just assume it's a regular coin. Take a closer look, and consider having it professionally graded by a numismatist or coin dealer. They can help you determine if your coin is the real deal and if it has the potential to fetch a high price. Even if your coin doesn't have the double die error, it could still be worth more than its face value if it's in exceptional condition. In the end, the 1985 Jefferson Nickel is a perfect example of how a coin that seems relatively unremarkable can hold hidden value. The double die error is a rare and exciting find, and the right coin, in the right condition, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. So, the next time you're going through your spare change or sorting through a jar of old coins, remember to keep an eye out for the 1985 Jefferson Nickel. It might just be the key to an unexpected fortune. And with that, if you happen to own one of these rare coins in top condition, you could be holding on to a treasure worth an astonishing $58,000. To 4. We're going to dive into a fascinating topic for all you coin enthusiasts, the 2000 Jefferson Nickel. You might be thinking, why would a coin from just a couple of decades ago be worth anything? Well, believe it or not, this seemingly ordinary 5-cent piece has caught the attention of collectors and investors for reasons that might surprise you. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just find out that your pocket change holds more value than you ever imagined. Let's start by taking a quick look at the 2000 Jefferson Nickel's background. The Jefferson Nickel, which was first introduced in 1938, has gone through various changes over the years. The design has remained relatively consistent, featuring the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front and his home, Monticello, on the back. However, like many coins in circulation, the Jefferson Nickel experienced some redesigns and special editions throughout the decades. By the year 2000, the coin was still following the traditional design, but there's something about that specific year's issue that has made it stand out in the world of numismatics. So, what exactly makes the 2000 Jefferson Nickel so special? At first glance, it might not seem all that different from the nickels you've seen every day. However, certain rare versions of the 2000 Jefferson Nickel are far more valuable than the average nickel. The key to its value lies in a relatively rare error coin and some specific collector interest point. One of the most notable varieties from the 2000 Jefferson Nickel collection is the wide AM, reverse, error. This is a fascinating misstrike that occurred during production, where the AM, in America, on the reverse side of the coin appears spaced farther apart than usual. This error is quite subtle, but if you look closely, you'll notice that the letters A and M, in America, on the reverse side have an unusually wide gap between them. In most regular strikes, these letters are positioned closer together. This minor flaw, however, is what makes the coin so valuable to collectors. It's a rare occurrence, and any coin with this error can fetch a significant premium. This particular error is incredibly desirable because it's so difficult to spot unless you're specifically looking for it. So, you might not immediately recognize that you have a coin worth more than its face value unless you're paying close attention to the details. The 2000 Jefferson Nickel with the wide AM, reverse error can command a premium in the right market, especially if the coin is in excellent condition. Speaking of condition, the grade of the coin plays a massive role in determining how much it will be worth. Coins that have been well preserved, without any noticeable wear or damage, are far more valuable than coins that have been circulated extensively. So, if you come across a 2000 Jefferson Nickel with this rare, wide AM, error and it's in pristine or near mint condition, then you're looking at a coin that can really rack up some serious cash. Another factor that contributes to the 2000 Jefferson Nickel's value is its place in modern coin collecting. While coins from the early 20th century or earlier often get the spotlight, collectors are becoming more and more interested in relatively newer coins that have errors or unique features. This interest in modern coins, coupled with the rarity of certain varieties, means that the 2000 Jefferson Nickel is more than just a piece of currency. It's an investment for some collectors. But how much could this seemingly average nickel be worth? While most of the 2000 Jefferson Nickels you encounter will be worth only 5 cents, those rare error coins can reach staggering prices. And when we're talking about the wide AM, reverse variety in particular, the price can reach up to something truly impressive. For a 2000 Jefferson Nickel in excellent condition, with the rare, wide AM, reverse error, it could be worth a jaw-dropping $25,000. Yes, you read that right, $25,000. That's a lot of money for a 5-cent piece, and it's all thanks to the rarity of the error and the high demand among collectors. It's incredible to think that something as simple as a small mistake in minting could cause a coin to become so valuable. But in the world of numismatics, rarity is king, and the 2000 Jefferson Nickel with the wide AM, reverse is one of those rare treasures that collectors are willing to pay top dollar for. Of course, not every 2000 Jefferson Nickel is worth that much, but if you happen to come across one of these rare coins in excellent condition, it could be worth a small fortune. If you think you might have a 2000 Jefferson Nickel with this unique error, it's worth taking the time to examine it closely. A simple magnifying glass or some good lighting will help you spot the differences between the regular version and the error. If you're unsure, consider having your coin professionally graded by a numismatist or a reputable coin dealer. They'll be able to tell you whether you're holding a valuable piece or just another regular nickel. In conclusion, the 2000 Jefferson Nickel may seem like an unremarkable coin at first glance, but there's far more to it than meets the eye. Thanks to rare minting errors like the wide AM reverse, this coin has become a valuable item for collectors. And if you're lucky enough to find one in excellent condition, you could be looking at a coin worth an astonishing $25,000. So, next time you're sorting through your change, take a moment to check your 2000 Jefferson Nickels. You might just be sitting on a hidden gem that could change your financial future. Top 5. We're exploring a fascinating piece of US currency that might not seem all that special at first glance, the 2001 Jefferson Nickel. We've all seen these nickels hundreds of times, and most of us probably don't think twice about the humble 5-cent coin. But what if I told you that this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth thousands of dollars? It's true. The 2001 Jefferson Nickel, in certain circumstances, can be a highly valuable find, especially if you know what to look for. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be rummaging through your pockets to see if you've stumbled upon one of these hidden treasures. Let's start with the basics. The 2001 Jefferson Nickel, just like its predecessors, features Thomas Jefferson's portrait on the obverse and his iconic home, Monticello, on the reverse. Since its introduction in 1938, the Jefferson Nickel has remained one of the most recognizable coins in American currency. By the time 2001 rolled around, the design hadn't changed much, until you get to some of the rarer versions of the coin. While most of the 2001 Jefferson Nickels are perfectly ordinary and worth just 5 cents, certain varieties are worth far more than their face value. But before we jump into the specifics of what makes the 2001 Jefferson Nickel so special, let's take a closer look at the general coin series. In 2001, the U.S. Mint continued producing the Jefferson Nickel with its traditional design. But what's interesting about this particular year is that it marks the beginning of a new era in coin production. This year was part of a time when the Mint was experimenting with new production techniques and making adjustments to certain coin designs. The 2001 Jefferson Nickel wasn't a commemorative coin or part of any major redesign campaign, so most of the coins produced that year were relatively common. However, a few small, rare minting errors slipped through the cracks, and these have made the 2001 Jefferson Nickel a desirable find for coin collectors. The most notable error with the 2001 Jefferson Nickel is known as the 2001 Wide Monticello Reverse. This error occurs when the reverse design, featuring Jefferson's home Monticello, has an unusually wide gap between the building and the edge of the coin. In most normal strikes, the Monticello building appears closer to the edge, but in the error version, the image is struck slightly off-center, causing that signature wider spacing. While it may seem like a minor issue, these subtle variations can significantly impact a coin's value, and collectors often go wild over such rare finds. What makes the 2001 Wide Monticello Reverse so special is that it's incredibly difficult to spot unless you know exactly what to look for. The gap between Monticello and the coin's edge is very slight, but it's still noticeable under the right conditions. That means many of these error coins likely went unnoticed when they were first minted, and only a small number of them have survived in circulation. This rarity is exactly what makes them so valuable. But it's not just the Wide Monticello error that gives the 2001 Jefferson Nickel its value. Condition is another crucial factor. Like with any collectible coin, the better the condition, the higher the price. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition, without wear, scratches, or discoloration, are far more valuable than coins that have been used in daily transactions. If you happen to find a 2001 Jefferson Nickel with the Wide Monticello reverse error in mint condition, you could be looking at a coin that could fetch a pretty impressive amount on the open market. Now, you may be wondering just how much one of these error coins is worth. Most 2001 Jefferson Nickels, of course, are worth just 5 cents. But if you happen to find one of the rare Wide Monticello reverse varieties, especially one in excellent condition, you could be sitting on a coin worth thousands of dollars. In fact, if you happen to have one of these coins, and it's been preserved well, you could see it sell for as much as $22,000. Yes, you heard that right, $22,000. That's a huge payout for a coin that originally only cost 5 cents. Of course, it's important to note that not every 2001 Jefferson Nickel is going to be worth that much. The value of these rare error coins depends largely on their condition, rarity, and demand in the numismatic market. But if you have the right coin, in the right condition, you could be holding on to something that's worth far more than you think. So, what should you do if you suspect you've found a 2001 Jefferson nickel with the wide Monticello reverse error? First, take a close look at the reverse side of the coin. If you see that the Monticello building appears unusually wide with a significant gap between it and the edge of the coin, you may be looking at a valuable error piece. Then, consider having the coin professionally graded by a numismatist or reputable coin dealer. They can evaluate its condition, authenticity, and potential market value. It's always a good idea to have an expert confirm whether or not your coin is the real deal. If you're not sure how to spot this error, don't worry. There are plenty of resources online, including photos of known examples of the wide Monticello reverse, that can help you compare your coin to confirmed error examples. Many coin collectors share their findings in online forums, where you can learn about the specifics of various coin errors and how to spot them. In conclusion, the 2001 Jefferson nickel might seem like a small and insignificant coin at first, but with a little bit of knowledge and luck, it could be worth far more than its face value. If you find a 2001 Jefferson nickel with the rare wide Monticello reverse error in good condition, you could be holding on to a coin worth an astonishing $22,000. So, next time you're going through your spare change, take a moment to inspect those nickels. You just might find a hidden treasure that could change your life.